Greetings, Falmouth, Michigan. Also, greetings to the BRINKS. This is actually Aetna, A-E-T-N-A, so we're near Falmouth. And this is where, well, I don't know if they're still here or not, but Ray and Gladys Brinks live or lived. I don't even know if they're still here on Earth, but I hope so. Anyways, wherever they may be, wherever you are, Ray and Gladys and the Brinks family. I know their son Steve and his wife Winnie, and met some of his brothers. And I just wanted to let you know I'm passing through on July 6, 2019, and I'm praying for you. I always pray for the Brinks, because I actually went and visited them down in the Dominican Republic. And we're going to turn around here, by the way. I visited them in the Dominican, which now, is having some problems with tourists dying. But anyways, they were missionaries there at the time. That was in the 1990, maybe 91. And then I guess he was near to retiring, so then they moved back to Michigan. And I thought they also have a house, or I don't know if they're owning it or renting it in Grand Rapids. And then I noticed they have a house out here. Not bad for being missionaries. And so, just want to let you know, I hope all is well. God be with you all. I hope you keep the faith. I know Steve is a little kind of a skeptic about the faith. I'm not sure why, but hope to encourage him to come back around. Believe with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Steve and Winnie kind of gone liberal a little ways, but I'm not sure about their dad and mom, Ray and Gladys. I assume they're more conservative. So keep the faith, keep growing in Christ, keep trying to fulfill the Great Commission. There's no retirement when you're a Christian. Yeah, you slow down a little bit, of course, but keep on going. I'm 51 now, so I know what it means to get a little tired in your old age. Not exactly an old geezer, but I've had some health problems myself. Here's the Zuiderveen farm. Sounds like a Dutch name. And so I've been up to Traverse City. I'm traveling across the United States doing mission work, but took a week up here in northern Michigan. After a week, maybe around West Michigan, around Grand Rapids and Holland. Now I'm making my way down towards Detroit, and then out of Michigan, and probably head back west towards California again. Had a scare in Cadillac that I was having car problems, and they thought it might be a head gasket, meaning would have had to get a whole new vehicle. It's not worth fixing this. But it turned out just to be a thermostat. So that was I call it a miracle. But whether you believe it's a miracle or something else. Look at these deer. Uh-oh. They're getting ready to cross this. Look at these deer. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one had some nice antlers. Growing, young ones. You got the hunting grounds up here for sure. By the way, I think there were some myths about me that the Brinks didn't know my whole story. I actually grew up here in Michigan, I went deer hunting and goose hunting and fishing as a kid. All that stuff, And It wasn't until I was a senior in high school, I was going into my senior year, that we moved to Southern California. And I actually finished my high school here in Michigan. So, the strange, I don't know, where the stories started hatching and being told and who was telling them. I mean, sometimes we call that gossip, by the way, if it's told maliciously about me. So, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not casting aspersions or casting fingers at anybody. I'm just saying that sometimes that's very dangerous to talk when you don't know the whole story. I grew up here, and then after my senior year of high school, I came to Cal in 4 years. I mean, I would go to California for a couple summers and Christmas breaks here and there, and our family would all get together out there. My dad also grew up in Michigan, mostly in Holland. I mean, he was born in Minnesota. They moved to California, then they moved to Holland when he was going into junior high school, and he was a big basketball player at Holland Christian High School, and he went to Calvin, so he didn't have that much California, experience under his belt. Even when we moved back out there in 1984, he lived a few years in Bellflower as a child. That was it. So to call us the California family and to start doing that kind of stuff, that was nonsense. Mickey Mouse nonsense, I'm not casting aspersions on anybody. I don't know who or what. I mean, I know Audrey and Eric were kind of involved in my affairs, but didn't know the whole story either, and they never allowed me to tell them. So that really was very aggravating when I kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. And Barb Wiersma, when we were down there in Dominican, she was there, and her and I had a little bit of a relationship kind of going, but nothing firm. And then suddenly, after we came back to the United States, to Michigan, we still continued to have a little bit of a relationship, but suddenly she just left, just like that, to Costa Rica. And then something weird, even more weird, happened. Audrey and Eric were involved in that, more so than they should have been. And I actually was still in Michigan working at Pine Rest because I was a psychology major. And I went to law school, and I just didn't feel like that was right to me. I left law school and I went to California, and there was that earthquake out there. There was an earthquake in Costa Rica. I volunteered to do disaster relief. I stayed with a missionary family there, Tom Post, and his family, and Barb was there, and I actually happened to see her there, and she had totally changed. It was like we were at a gathering together, and it's like either she didn't even recognize me, or she had like totally cut me off mentally in her mind. There was something weird about it all. And I never had a chance to kind of put closure on anything, because she never would talk to me. After one day in Grand Rapids, she said something about getting married, and she didn't give me a chance to say anything back. She slammed the door, and that was it. So she wanted to get married, and I thought, well, that's possible. I didn't know that was before I was going to law school, still working at Pine Rest. Didn't know exactly where I was going to end up in terms of a career or a job, and how to make a living and things like that. And that was the last of it. I never saw her again. Here's the speedway, by the way. Looks like something might be going on here. So, I might add more to this discussion, but I think I'm running out of time on this segments, so stay tuned to the Brinks. I'll be probably adding more to this discussion.